De la right, my MVVs, welcome.
Ooni of Ife's council, of course, in crisis, as we are hearing, as they say, Kabiyesi confronted elders, in particular, okay, an elder called Fagbemiro for damaging or trying to damage his destiny with, Fake wives. Yes, so they said when they were talking about this whole thing, it was Fagbemiro that was carrying it on top of his head like a pass your neighbor generator. How there is no Ooni of Ife that marries one wife that is successful. That any Ooni of Ife that marries one wife finds out that women, he is at the mercy of women. And that was why Olori Naomi could do what she did. If not, why would Naomi, what do you call, insult the entire Yoruba race the way she did? Why? That this is becoming too much. Kabiyesi must marry another wife. Now, this Fagbemiro is a very close ally to Ebony's family. Like, he has always been their friend. He wanted Ebony to come in and also wanted, his own granddaughter to come in. Yes, so his own granddaughter to come in. So in order for it not to look as though he was fronting for his granddaughter, he had to, kind of pull strings upon strings for Kabiyesi to open up to polygamy. And it was saying Ebony has always been there. Ebony has loved Kabiyesi. Ebony understands the tradition. Ebony understands this. Ebony understands that and all of that. And they said soon as Ooni of Ife made up his mind that yes, so he was going to marry Ebony. You know that Ebony happens to be the last wife that Kabiyesi married. In that, during that time of marriage extravaganza, it was Ebony that was the last woman who entered the palace, who was married by the Ooni of Ife. Now, they said that after Kabiyesi agreed to marry all of these women, he brought, in fact, the list of women that he himself also approved of was with his own granddaughter. Okay. Now, this man's granddaughter is called Bisola Fagbemiro. Yeah. And that Fagbemiro is a very big family there in Ile-Ife. They are also wealthy. They have money. And most of these children are in the UK. Now, Bisola Fagbemiro is a lawyer. Okay. That Bisola Fagbemiro was a part of, was in the list that they gave to Kabiyesi to marry. And the lady, as at that time when Kabiyesi married all of these women, they said she was 32 in the UK. So right now she should be about 34 or 5 or about 34. So when that name entered the list, they evaluated the name, okay. It happened that something had happened about 2 years when Naomi was still inside the palace. A problem happened in the UK. Now, you know that there are a lot of Yoruba people that are in the UK. So, when they kept having problems with each other, they had already advised some of the Yoruba people in certain communities that, look, we are all brothers and sisters. We came from Africa to be here. When something happens, don't be too quick to take it to the police. Bring it to the leaders here so that we can fix them here. Now, that community, that place in the UK, from what we heard, they said they were trying to adopt the Indian style of, living when they are abroad. So this Bisola, Kabiyesi remembered a case where they brought to the palace from the UK because the community leader there in the UK couldn't fix it. So that Christmas, when they all came, they brought that case back to the palace. It was a family who brought the case that Bisola kept threatening their daughter, who is young and in school there in the UK. According to them, Bisola was threatening and sending boys to go and threaten this girl. The reason happens to be that she was suspecting that her boyfriend, the man that she loved so much, was having an affair with this girl. So Bisola basically terrified the life of that girl in the UK to a point where back home they had to bring the issue to the Ooni of Ife so that Ooni of Ife can, caution the family back home so they can call Bisola in the UK and want Bisola to stay off their daughter. So when this Fagbemiro brought this list, and it happens that that Bisola name, Bisola Fagbemiro, was in the list, and Kabiyesi asked, "Is this not the lawyer, the barrister in the UK?" And the grandfather said yes. That was the only thing that disqualified Bisola from that list. Bisola would have been in the Ooni of Ife's palace now. Bisola would have been, Bisola would have been a wife to the Ooni of Ife. So this Fagbemiro did a lot, push for this polygamy for the Ooni of Ife. And while he was pushing, it wasn't in the interest of the Ooni of Ife. He just wanted Ooni of Ife to accept polygamy so that the daughter too can come in so they can eat from the royal, steak, the royal bread. And so, right now, they say when all this thing happened, when the elders were there, the one elder that Kabiyesi focused on was Bisola. I mean, Fagbemiro, that is Bisola's grandfather. That Oni of Ife was, as in, the Oni of Ife was so mad at the man. Because even when others, gave up on this issue of polygamy, that man refused to give up. The man just wanted Ooni of Ife to get married. And the reason why the man wanted that at the time was because of his own granddaughter. They say when the man came and the man started begging, Ejo, 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 Kabiyesi walked the man out of his palace. Some people are just so selfish in this world. It's always about themselves. If there is nothing for them to gain, they will not do it. And even if, that thing is going to harm you, they want you to go into it. They are like real estate agents. Real estate agent, they will show you a house to buy. They know that there's no water in that environment. They know that even if you bring the biggest, borehole company to come and drill water in that environment, they won't see good water. But maybe that is going to cost you millions of naira. Real estate agents, they don't care. You see, maybe you're spending like 100 million naira to buy that property. And maybe, just maybe, I'm just saying, for instance, their commission there is 1 million. They don't care. You can waste your 100 million for all we care. It's just the 1 million that we want, especially real estate agents in Nigeria. A lot of them, not all of them. Some are responsible and all of that. So people are so selfish. Most times it's all about them. Most times it's all about them. They say Kabiyesi walked Fagbemiro out of his palace and was so upset for bringing this Fake to come and ruin his destiny. They say Kabiyesi was so bitter. So I'm going to bring you more update. Do not forget that these are all alleged, rumored, unverified information making the rounds on social media. Should not be seen as fact.